Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pod/Cast. I am your host with my fellow co-host here. Hello.
I am Seth.
Woo!
And that's Niall. Niall is not white.
Oh, so because I'm dark, I can't say my own name?
No, you're just quiet and never talk, so I said it for you.
I talked like 90% of the last episode.
Yeah, but you didn't talk.
Helicopter.
You didn't talk
Sorry.
literally during this exact intro, so I'm just saying that.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't want to
exactly.
cut one of you guys off.
I'll cut you off in traffic, you little shit.
I'll cut you off with your mom.
I'll cut your foreskin off.
I didn't know you're Jewish.
Zooey Mama.
You will be when I'm done with you.
You'll be Jewish when I'm done. Joke's on you,
Well,
I'm already circumcised.
Niall lore.
Awkward pause after that.
I was so
Very
happy that everyone
uncomfortable.
went quiet after that.
Very quiet after that one, okay.
Alright, boys. Today, we are reviewing Color Out of Space.
It was the
That's
first,
the name of it, right?
the first Wheel of Doom movie.
Yes, the Wheel of Doom
Wheel
decided
of
our fate this week. The Wheel of Doom.
Wheel of Doom.
And we got Nicolas Cage and Color Out of Space in 1 week. That's pretty good if you ask me.
Nicolas Cage
What?
and Color Out of Space, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. But before we get into that, I got a little goofy thing. See, the thing is that I tasted the water from Color Out of Space in real life today. And you know what it is? It's that new fucking Coca-Cola flavor, the AI
There's
generated
a new
one.
Coca-Cola flavor?
Yes, so
Coca-Cola?
they AI generated a new recipe for Coca-Cola.
What do you mean they AI
What does that
generated?
They
mean?
used an AI to make the recipe, and that's the recipe for the
Devin,
Coca-Cola.
you gotta give me more than the AI made the recipe.
Well,
That's probably all they tell
fed, They fed like a bunch of like recipe for like Coca-Cola flavors into an AI, and then they made the flavor that the AI came up with. Sounds
And,
gross.
like, How many
That is
people
the
in the
most-
factory do you think like melted trying it for the first time?
I'm just-
well,
That's
I
my
mean, as I
question.
said, it's the Color Out of Space
I'm
because
finally
that
gonna
shit
get to
is
say this
vile.
in this show. That is the most shit I've ever heard in my life.
I'll definitely need the censor bleep for
Yes,
that one.
thank you.
What noise
I'll
are we
be
gonna
sure
use for
to
censor
send that
here?
over,
Bro, why would anyone ever AI generate a flavor?
I don't know. That's the thing is that it like okay, I can describe.
That
the taste
sounds
for
like
you,
a
right?
South Park bit.
It
Yeah,
does.
it does, and it's real, and that's the worst part about it. So
I
what
love
it
the
is?
ChatGPT episode.
Oh yeah, it's so good. But basically, what it is it's like you know how like if you threw every fruit together, it doesn't quite taste like a fruit, but it tastes like a different type of fruit. It's kind of like that. But then the aftertaste is like a weird texture in your throat, and then it tastes like flat Coke, with like someone farted in your Coke at the same time.
I
Pepsi.
imagine you'd get the same experience drinking the water out of like a nuclear reactor, and then you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I drink
what I
I
get
drink
with
the
Pepsi.
liquid in Color Out of Space,
Or Diet
and now I'm
Coke.
starting to like itch my
Dude.
arms and shit.
You start to mutate.
I'm starting to mutate, boys.
It was
I'm
actually
starting
like
to glow
Coke's
purple.
plot. This is
Purple
Coke's plot to,
guy.
like, create super soldiers. You drink the AI generated Coke, and you like turn into a Terminator.
Well, this shit was so vile that my the store I work for, we usually like have expired foods in like our break room to eat for free. It's not like gross as it sounds. It's kind of like non-perishables. You know, they have an expiration date, but you still put them in there.
I get
So
you.
they're not like feeding us biohazards. Don't worry.
I get
Okay.
you entirely. Don't you worry.
Yeah. So it's like chips. and
Wow,
stuff.
what a lovely boss you have. Hey, this shit's expired and I can't sell it anymore. How about you fuckers eat it?
I get you like
Yeah.
Dales and stuff that are still fine.
Yeah, it's like that.
That's how
But
it is
they
at my
literally
workplace with
they
our
grab
brownies.
these Cokes, right? They didn't even bother putting them out on the floor. They're like, nah, this shit's too vile. Let's put it in the break room.
That
And
reminds
so-
me of. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, that reminds me of the Swedish Fish Oreos. I have a story about Swedish Fish Oreos.
Wait, Swedish Fish Oreos? What the fuck?
It's an Oreo, but it has like Swedish fish goo in it instead of icing. Or
With the
frosting
normal
or
like
whatever.
the normal like cookie part?
Yeah, it's the cookie part, and then there's just like Swedish fish
What the
gummy material in it.
fuck? Is it good?
Fuck no.
I was gonna say it probably tastes like eating fucking brick
It-
mortar.
It was my freshman year of high school, and every other day there would be like a study period, but when you were a freshman for your like whole first semester, you had to like go to a specific like orientation type class
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
for some stupid. I can't fucking remember what it's called. It was stupid, but I remember one day our like senior leaders who were there to like teach us the ropes of high school in our little freshman seminar that we had to go to. One day they brought Swedish fish Oreos, and dude, that annihilated my entire digestive system like the rest of the day. Like first thing in the morning,
you got like poisoned from it. Like what happened?
it was just fucking vile. Like it was a super strong flavor, and then it like made your breath smell like dog food the whole day. And whenever you burped, it came up, and I got like really bad acid reflux from it. It was.
Oh God.
I would rather eat a bar of uranium than eat a Swedish fish Oreo again. Like unironically, it was probably like. I've had many mornings that I started with going to seminary and smoking weed in the parking lot, but the worst morning I ever had was the one Swedish fish Oreo.
I was gonna say that sounds fucking horrific.
It's better for you to smoke weed at 6 a.m. in the morning than it is to eat one Swedish fish Oreo at like 7 a.m. in the morning. That's my wisdom for you.
Don't smoke weed at 6 a.m. in the morning, or don't eat Swedish fish at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Don't smoke Swedish fish Oreos before school.
Turn to a Goomba before you die.
You'll turn into a Galoomba.
You'll go to hell before you die.
Let's just say that, like, if you eat a Swedish fish Oreo, you'll end up like the people in Colorado Space.
Exactly. Yeah. It's slowly
All right, I guess
mutated you from the inside out.
All right. A little context for Colorado Space. Colorado Space. It started as an H.P. Lovecraft story.
Yep.
Where, H.P. Lovecraft was an extraordinarily mentally ill, fucked up guy.
Yeah,
he was a
little goofy goober.
Oh yeah, you know those goofy things like naming your cat the hard R and.
Oh God, yeah, dude, he was so fucking bad. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but no, like all of his stories are based off of things that like he's personally afraid of, and like some of it is like, oh, I'm afraid of the unknown, I'm afraid of being small, but sometimes it's like, I'm afraid of air conditioning and math. And Colorado Space, and you know, despite the fact that you'd think that an evil color coming from outer space and making things bad sounds like it would totally be a racist thing.
Yeah.
It's actually because he learned about like the light spectrum, how there's like infrared and UV that we can't see, and he was afraid of colors that humans couldn't see, so that's why he wrote Color Out of Space.
I guess I can't bitch too much because I made a good story, but why?
It's pretty good, yeah. Like,
but how do you
I'm in the
scared
movie.
of that?
I've been, because I told you that he was not right in the head, dude. You don't think of half the shit that he did and be like, I'm not mentally ill at all.
I'm mentally ill and I don't get scared of color.
I'm not mentally ill and I'm scared of colors all the time.
I'm scared of the darker
Yeah, there's a specific color that I'm afraid of.
I'm scared of those
if
darker
you-
colors I see in my streets. Oh,
If you
God,
read the
shut up.
original freaking H.P. Lovecraft stories, they're so racist. Like even like
Yeah,
the Call
dude.
of Cthulhu, even like the Call of Cthulhu in Innsmouth, it's like all the black people worship Cthulhu. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
All right, I'll do our traditional reading of the IMDb reviews of Colorado
I was
Space,
gonna say,
which has Nicolas
let's get
Cage
into
in
that.
it.
Yeah.
By the way,
My boy Nicolas Cage.
it's got an 86%.
Okay,
Huh.
that's not
On Rotten Tomatoes, 86, 82. So the audience liked it a little bit less, but I don't know.
Interesting.
bad. I can see why people didn't like it, but this was a banger movie.
I love
this movie,
dude.
yeah.
I loved this movie. Let me see. All right. Stylized weirdness can only take you so far, though. What does that mean? Oh, he's from the UK. I'll have to forgive him. He's not as smart as us.
Yeah, he already has stylized weirdness going on in day to day. What the fuck do you mean?
Yeah, no. This guy is from the UK Times, and the people who are giving it like the good reviews, it's the Daily Beast. Yeah, it's like this is like like the Chad in the beta male meme. The UK Times version versus the Daily Beast Chad. I mean, all the positive reviews are just like, oh, it's a trippy, grotesque vision of the real and unreal colliding.
That's cool. I like that. That sums it up pretty good.
I don't think I've ever read an audience review because I never scrolled down far enough.
Oh shit, what do we got for an audience review?
This was an odd duck of a movie. It starts off with a teenage girl in a Wiccan outfit riding to her house barefoot on horseback. Yeah?
Yeah, that's true. It does.
That's a 3-star review, so I don't know what their problem is with that.
They hate feet.
That's a...
Do you
So
like
the opposite
feet?
of you.
No.
There's something you need to tell me?
No, what the fuck? Oh my god.
I think he's getting a little too defensive. What do you think?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
No, I swear to God, I don't like feet.
No.
What did I think of the movie? Can I just give it a 5-star review and I can't give it a 5-star review? Wait.
What?
I can't give it a 5-star review
That's
unless I make
why.
a Rotten Tomatoes recount? Hello? Oh, wait. Oh, I still have to log in or sign up. I'm sorry, guys. I was going to give it a good review live on the podcast, but I'm not giving Rotten Tomatoes my information.
No, give him.
bruh.
Just say you're a black guy. You're gonna give
Dude,
him a place
Rotten
to live.
Tomatoes... Rotten Tomatoes is a horrible website, and I only use it for this podcast.
Oh yeah.
Like,
It's
go
fun
back
to
to the
read.
first episode or whatever it was, or I think it was the second episode, and I'll be like, I literally don't know how to use this website, guys. Alright, but yeah, I guess we should just get right into
Let's
the color
dive right in,
space.
baby.
Alright, I will start.
Woo!
Just like that review said, it starts with a girl dressed in a Wiccan outfit riding
Yep.
her horse barefoot.
Well, she's doing
That's how
like
it
a,
starts.
She
doing
has
a
like a
ritual.
stone circle. She's doing a ritual out of the Necronomicon, right? I think that's also important.
I mean, it's like the Necronomicon that you can just like buy on Amazon.
Not the Evil Dead one. Not that shit.
Not the real Necronomicon. It's like the Goodreads Necronomicon.
Yeah,
alright?
it's the
I
Etsy
own-
version.
Like I'll tell you guys, I own a satanic Bible, so I know the exact type of shit that it says in this fucking Necronomicon. But like, yeah, so she's doing like a ritual, and I do remember I wrote this down in our notes because we actually took notes for this one. I wrote down Barbie swastika.
Oh. No, you're right. There is a shot of that.
Well, yeah, because it's just she's out in like the wilderness in front of this river doing just like a stupid little Wiccan ritual. She's like, I'm an empath. I can cure my mom's cancer with...
Sorry.
I can cure my mom's cancer with a magic spell. And just in one of the trees behind her, there's two sets of Barbie legs that are supposed to probably be like a different symbol, but they're hanging from the
Oh,
tree
that's
and it
right,
looks like a
that's
swastika,
right.
so it's
Yeah,
just like a
it
swastika
doesn't look
made
good
with
at
Barbie
all.
legs.
I forgot that's what it was.
Oh, as a man who grew up with many a girl in my house,
Girl.
I have many stories of mutilated Barbies.
As a man who's basically a girl, I don't.
And I was like, I just brushed their hair.
brushed their hair. I'm not like other girls.
I'm not like other girls. I didn't.
girls.
I'm not like other girls. I didn't rip the head off my Barbie.
Nice.
Yeah, so while she's doing her ritual, just like a random guy walks up, and he's a hydrologist, right? He's like, hey, I'm here to check out the groundwater and see if it's okay to drink. And she's just like, you're on private property there, pal. I mean, I don't know. The beginning of the movie is pretty slow, but
Yeah, it's kind of.
That's like a good thing about
She
it,
also
I'm gonna
kind
be
of like.
honest.
She's like, get the fuck out of here, and he's like, I can't do that, ma'am. I gotta check out this water. Is there any piss in that stream right there? Let's find out.
did you piss in that stream? I better test it with my tongue.
I better test it with my tongue.
Better
I
test
better
it with my
go.
chin.
I better go take some sippy sips from that river over there.
But basically,
Yeah, I mean, just
he's
the-
there to check it out.
I mean, the beginning of this movie, just getting everything set up is basically the setup is that there's this family that live in this house like way out in the middle of the fucking
Yeah,
sticks.
it's
Right,
like-
they're out in the middle of the woods.
It's like an hour to civilization, right? Isn't that what they said?
They said that it's later in the movie. They say that it's an hour to the nearest hospital, so that's
Yeah, so,
probably
yeah.
yeah, like an hour away from anything. They're out in the woods. They have alpacas
Yeah.
because Nicolas Cage thinks that they're the livestock of the future. Yeah, so it's the mom
He probably also
who has
likes NFTs.
cancer. Yeah, but it's the mom who has cancer, Nicolas Cage,
Yep.
the weed smoking son, the Wiccan daughter, and then like the little boy.
I remember most of their names. I don't remember the main girl's name, but Jack, Benny. I think the dad's name's Nathan, right?
Yeah, I think he's Nathan.
Nathan. I don't remember the mom's name. I just remember that he called her Golden Girl at one point, and that's kind of
she's
what I
like
went by.
he's like, you're always my golden lady, and then they fuck.
Oh
So-
yeah,
Yeah, they do. They do it.
What was my
But,
thing? It was
I
like,
mean, I'm
like
lucky
a
that
woman
only-
that's dying.
Well, no, because the whole thing is like they moved out there because the mom has cancer and she has some
Yeah.
online. Do you guys know what her online business was? She's
So-
like taking
Just
client
clients.
calls.
No. It's a phone thing. She's trying to sell like shitty products over the phone. She's like a real estate type person.
I was
forget.
wondering, like, is she
Infomercial?
like a phone salesman for like commercial products, or is
Yeah, I think so.
like maybe like some sort of insurance thing? I don't know. It's not particularly important, but like
No,
she's like,
yeah, it only comes up once.
because like this, the whole thing is like this is a pretty it's a pretty normal, happy family, but at the same time, there's a lot of just like little tension everywhere. Like the daughter hates being out there, and she doesn't want to like eat their stupid food that they grew
They
themselves.
don't get bottled water
Yeah.
for some reason.
They don't get bottled water. They drink that yummy well water.
Yeah. And I mean the tensions there a little bit. Like the dad has a little tension with the daughter because she's rebelling against him, and he doesn't really know how to handle certain situations, which we learn later on. But for the most part, they're all pretty happy. And the hydrologist, like, you know, after we meet the family, he goes over to their neighbor, and I forget his name.
Well,
But-
because he like shows up and talks to us like, "Hey, I have to test the groundwater."
Yeah,
That's right.
Oh, I remember their neighbor's name because he's just like they say he's like, I just got to ask everyone on the property some questions like, how's the water, blah blah blah. Is there anything weird going on, blah blah blah. Just like regular hydrologist like
Yeah.
stuff that you'd ask to make sure the water is good. But they call him a squatter, and his name is Ezra.
Yeah, it's Ezra, and he's
And
like
he's
in
just this
weird-ass
hippie.
fucking house. Yeah.
He's a hippie that lives in this little shack that's like all cameraed up, and he has a cat that he named G-Spot.
Oh yeah, I named him G-Spot.
A pussy named G-Spot. That's the funniest shit I ever heard. Yeah, but
Yeah.
he realizes that there's like something wrong with the groundwater out there, which is ironically not actually that important later in the movie because Ezra gives him like a glass of water, but it's like brown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's
there's
all
some weird
It's
shit
like all brown
already
and fucked
happening.
up. So like, I mean that's relatively normal for houses that are like out there in like the sticks. It's just like a fucking hole busted in our like well pipe, and now there's just dirt in our water. Yahtzee. Good for us.
But yeah.
So that just kind of happens out there sometimes. So really, just like until a little bit later in this movie, it's just a really sort of, you know, like a little odd but not like super weird situation where it's just like this little quirky
It's
family
just
and
a
the
little family with a
hydrologist.
bit of an issue with the whole cancer thing. Just kind of
Yeah, they're trying to cope.
decently
and-
getting through a hard time. They're
Yeah,
handling.
Yeah.
exactly.
They're handling. They're doing.
They're doing pretty
alright.
good.
Yeah.
And I mean, everything's going pretty good until later that night. So everyone's kind of doing their own thing. The dad and the daughter got into a fight. Not really a fight, but he was like, "Quit doing that satanic shit, lady."
Nah.
And then
I
she's
mean,
like,
I think it
"Fuck you,
was
Dad."
he was like he got mad at her because the daughter was always bitching about like we live out here, we have to make our
Yeah,
own
exactly.
food, blah 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 blah. And he's like, I'm trying, blah blah blah. Or like I don't know, I can't
It's
remember
something like
specifically,
that.
but it was a relatively, like I said, a pretty normal family argument. Now
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, there is nothing worse than an awkward family.
No, dude. Oh my god.
I would rather like slam my hand under a mallet 3 times than sit through a
I'd
family
rather
dinner where
have,
like
what was his name, Benny?
where like your
No.
dad and one of your siblings, like if your dad and one of your siblings get in a fight and you're just sitting there, it's just like I want to just like fucking disappear.
Uh-huh.
No, honestly, it's
My
so
shit.
bad.
Like it got to the point with me where I was like,
Ever.
I want the TV, please.
Yeah, and I mean it's pretty nice. Like they're all chilling in their individual rooms. The satanic daughter is kind of chilling in her room, listening to music. Her eyes are closed, that type of thing. Benny's playing, or no, he's going through like the solar system on his like.
He's playing like Space Simulator.
Yeah,
or
something like that. With
And
his
it
dog
is
Sam,
his dog.
with an arms reach.
His
yeah.
dog Sam is just like there, and he's like, "What, Sam? You don't like the sun forming or some shit like that?" Because Benny, the son, right? He smokes he smokes that dank kush.
Yeah, he's a pothead. Yeah.
That sounds like a person who's never touched weed in their fucking life. It's the exact opposite of you.
Hello, fellow children.
Hello,
are you smelling
hello.
that? Are you
have
selling
that
that
weed?
dank
Please
kush?
speak it to my chest loud and clear.
Please speak into my chest and tell me where to get
Where are your drugs?
Where is that hash? That dope?
Where is that Mary Jane?
Where is
That
that Mary
stinky
Jane
green.
Watson?
That's what I'm asking.
That's where I'm asking too. Anybody? Anyways,
Yeah.
they're kind of just chilling, and then the parents.
Oh yeah, but no, this is the part where like the mom is like, how could you love someone who's so sick because she has cancer, right?
Yeah,
and then
and
Nicolas
she's
Cage
a
is
little
like,
sick.
I like
you'll
a woman
always
that's
be
dying.
my golden lady, and then they fuck.
They get into it, and then Jack.
Nicolas Cage gets pussy in this movie.
He gets
and that's
it.
all that matters.
Yeah,
really.
Nicolas Cage
It's
is the
a
winner.
passionate sex. God damn.
He's the winner of this movie.
love Nicolas Cage.
He's
Nicolas
my
Cage is
boy.
the best.
I have a
Yeah,
love-hate
so, like-
relationship with Nicolas
So-
Cage.
But like,
So-
while all this is happening,
Yeah, they're all doing their own thing. I mean, also we should mention is Jack's kind of just like the youngest kid is kind of like bulling around, just doing.
he was in
whatever
his
the fuck.
room, and then he left his room when like some like weird little spooky shit starts happening. But the
Yeah.
big spooky thing is the pink meteorite that falls out of the sky.
Dude, and oh my gosh, I should talk about the
it's not
shot.
a color that you can see, Seth.
Shut the fuck
Well,
up,
shut up.
Niall. In this
For the-
movie, it
yeah.
has to be a color that I can see.
That was an odd issue I never thought about. Was the original story, because it's writing,
Yeah.
can get away with saying, yeah, it's a color no one's seen, versus a movie which is like, oh fuck, we can't do
Yeah,
that.
they had to pick a,
Well, yeah,
striking color.
Because the trick with the color out of space is, like I said, it's based off of H.P. Lovecraft getting scared that there's colors that
But
the
it's
human
it
eye
is kind of
can't
funny.
see.
It's one of those issues of like a separation of a book versus a movie, huh?
Yeah.
It's not something you think about.
I mean, that's just
until
the
it
thing with
happens.
that's just the thing with cosmic horror is like cosmic horror in a book. You can like describe something, but also not describe it at the same time because you can be like, oh, there's tentacles and eyes,
There's
but
a
also it's
tentacles.
formless, and I can't remember what it actually looked like. So it can
Yeah.
be like this really
Yeah.
warped, like you can't really tell what it is view. And in a book, you can be like, it's a color that you can't imagine.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it'll be like, okay, cool. But in a movie, they're like, pink.
yeah, they pick magenta, which I mean is a pretty good pick, I'd say.
And then sort of throughout, there's like a little like hints of like rainbow like details. Like
Yeah.
I'll talk about some of it later. But yeah, so this meteorite falls out of the sky.
Yeah. Well, hold on. See, the thing is that it pans out of the house, and this shot is just beautiful. It's like a little northern star that's like bright pink, and then it just starts like rippling through the sky, and you just see that for like a brief moment, and then it cuts back into that side of the house, and then the house is just like engulfed in this like magenta light pretty much as it crashes into the ground. And as this is all happening, everyone's kind of doing their own thing. They don't give a fuck except for Jack, the little kid. And as the meteor hits the ground, it just like engulfs the house. It like blasts everything. Everyone's freaking out because the ground's shaking.
Yeah, you
right?
get this specifically. You get the shot of Jack because he's sitting in the hallway covering you, screaming because a meteor is falling out of the sky, and sort of it gets this shot where like the color like blasts like not like through him, like it's not like it like blasts his head off, but like it like engulfs the screen and like comes out of his eyes, and it
Yeah,
you know,
it, like
sort of
it,
implying
you know how
that
like your skin
did
turns transparent
something.
when you hold like a flashlight over it. Like
That's what it did.
Yeah, it literally did that. Yeah, that's what I was saying. And so
I mean, at that age, that's how I would also have reacted to anything being pink. So you know.
Niall, get off your phone, bitch.
I heard it though. I just wanted to ignore it.
Get
I
off
was
your
like-
phone.
And I was like, I made everything pink when I was that age.
Man, I fucking love pink.
Pink's a pretty good
I
color, if you
love
ask
pink.
me.
I still got that pink blazer.
Yeah, dude, you have a good pink jacket.
Fuck yeah. Wore that to prom.
You know, I still don't like pink, but that has nothing to do with like it being like a girl
Oh
color.
yeah,
I just
no,
don't
I
like it.
don't. I don't at all blame people who don't like a color. I hate when people get
I
like,
just- I
"How
just-
could you
I
not
just
like
don't like
this
pink."
color?" It's like
The
some
only
colors are
the only
just
color
ugly.
we hate here. The only color we hate here is
black
the color
people.
out of space.
The only
Both went
color
really
we hate
different
here
directions there,
is a
David.
color that came from somewhere else and came here
That
to
one
change
from the other
things.
place.
The one from the other place. Sure.
I can't wait for that to just get clipped and just like put on Twitter. Yeah.
I know, I can't wait.
I hate colors on them aliens.
Yeah, it's so
How's that?
fucking weird.
I hate
Goddamn, I
aliens that
fucking hate
aren't
that
white.
shit so
I'm
much,
like, I hate.
man.
Actually, no, I hate them
Yeah.
white Martians.
I hate that
White
shit, man.
Martian.
I hate the white
Especially
Martians.
I hate the white Martians. Fucking hell.
There's a good joke in there.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so the fucking color out of space hits him with the 5G waves, and then hits the entire house, and they hear.
POV. There's a 5G tower next to your house. Can we say that? Let's not say that.
But pretty much like Jack's screaming, and then everyone stops what they're doing to go check on him, obviously, and he's freaking out. And basically at this point they're kind of just like, oh shit, what the fuck do we do? They take him down to the living room. Everyone's panicking, doesn't know what to do, so everyone's coping.
Oh
their
yeah,
own
but
way.
Jack is. Everyone is like spooked a little bit, but Jack is like not talking, and he's
not
like
talking.
not
He's
breathing right.
He's looking at them blankly. He's just like, he's not there at all.
They're like, this motherfucker's in shock, and everyone like heard the meteor fall because
Yes.
it's a meteor. It's not like it just.
No, it shook the whole house. And I mean, Nick Cage is freaking out too. And then this is the start of something throughout the movie where he gets a glass, is like tequila or what is that? Like
He
whiskey?
drinks bourbon.
Yeah, bourbon. There we go.
He gets bourbon and ice. And, like, the mom was, like, freaking out, like, oh, my God, we gotta take him to a hospital. What are we gonna do? It's like, and this is where they're like, well, the nearest hospital is an hour away.
They're like, it's okay. I mean, come on, man. And so they're like, all right, let's just get him to bed. We'll take it easy. And then I think it's Benny, right? Benny and the daughter kind of look outside and they see like something glowing in the yard.
I think Benny, Nick Cage, I think it's, they, like, look outside, but I think Benny and Nick Cage and maybe the daughter, too, are the ones who all go outside and, like, look at the meteor, which is just, like, it's like a little disco ball that's just shining pink.
Yeah, it's bright. It's very bright, and they're like, oh, what the fuck is that? And they're like, don't touch that. But also something important here is that Nick Cage starts smelling something that he just absolutely fucking hates,
that's
but
right,
no one else is
yeah.
smelling it. No one else is smelling it at all.
Yeah, he's always like, what's that smell?
What's that smell?
Smells like a dead dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're like, oh fuck, all right, well let's head back inside. And so the
Yeah,
next...
no, I have it. He said it smells like someone lit a dog on fire.
I was close.
Yeah, there you go.
I was looking at my notes and I have something else written down.
Oh no.
And
Yes.
to reel it back to the scene where like Nick Cage and his wife are talking before they make love. She's like, oh, like, how can you love someone who's like damaged and gross? Because she's like, she's like, what if I didn't have legs? And he says, he'd be like carrying luggage, and I could enjoy you anywhere. And it's like, I don't know if that's romantic or like the most down bad shit I've ever heard in my
No,
life.
Nick Cage is down bad in this movie, dude.
I know, right?
He'll do anything for his golden
Wow.
lady, which
Wow,
you know.
I gotta remember that. I think if I ever told that to my girlfriend, she'd shoot me in the face, and I deserve it.
I mean, she's right there. You can tell her.
I mean, here. Hey, babe, if you didn't have legs, you'd be like carry-on luggage, and I can enjoy you anyway.
Actually, fucking.
And all we see next is like a shoe flying at his camera towards his head, and it just freeze frames right there.
Just my audio cuts for the rest of the episode, and you're like, oh, well, gotta go down. Time to go on without Seth.
Well, shit. Well, Seth died to the color out of space. Let's keep going.
Don't you say that to her. But yeah, so... Honestly, the thing is, like, this movie has such good, like, tension building.
Yes.
Like, everything is normal, and then, like, one weird thing happens, and then from this point, when the meteor falls and the color has come out of space, it just sort of exponentially, like, it starts slow, and then it just gets more and more and more, just fucked.
It's also super interesting, too, because the details are very subtle initially of what's happening. Because what happens is the next morning, everyone's, like, awake again, and I think it's
the next morning...
Yeah, they're outside with the mayor, right?
He called the mayor and the sheriff, and he's like, a fucking meteor fell in my front yard.
Yeah.
And, I mean, yeah, the meteor just sitting there. It's not glowing.
No, it turned to
more.
dust.
It's not... It didn't, like, just turn into dust. It was just, like, a little dusty rock.
Yeah.
The news.
And,
then
like, the
showed
hydrologist
up.
was like, yeah, this is a meteorite. Most of the time, they burn up before they hit the ground, but not always.
Oh my god, I just
And then this
realized
is the point
something.
when, like, and this is the part where, like, the mayor, like, sort of hints that's, like, you should have sold me the land when you
Oh,
had the
yeah.
chance. Because the mayor of the
Yeah.
town, I can't remember. I don't remember what her name was, but it was some. It sounded stupid.
It was stupid as
that might
fuck.
reflect bad on me, but she had a stupid name. She had a dumb name. I hate government officials. Every single one of them. And yeah, so she like wants to buy Nick Cage's land. It's not really a super important detail. It's probably
No.
why she actually had the hydrologist sent out there, though. She's like looking for reasons to sort of shove him off. Is my
Yeah, no,
personal
you're
guess.
right. But something else I should also mention real quick before we keep going is that the color out of space, the meteor, right? It turned to like ash pretty much, right? Like the white ash. And you know what's
Yeah,
interesting about
it was
that?
really white ashy,
Yes.
and then it's just.
And you know,
I don't think the actual rock itself wasn't just a pile of dust, but it was just like a really dusty rock.
Yeah, yeah.
In like a little burned zone.
Well, that's the thing is that
Ooh,
something interesting about that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So later on in the movie, this is a mild spoiler. All the creatures are affected by sunlight. Okay, and what happened here at the beginning is that when the sun came up, it lost all of its color because it was in direct sunlight. So that's why it's ashy and white.
Also, at some point, this is gonna sound weird because there's a well.
Yes, and that's
literally
that's
just,
also
like a little
the thing,
stone
yes.
well. But at some point, it's either
It doesn't get in the well.
no, because they talk about it, and then the mayor's like, I'll have the whole news crew down here. He's like, I don't, and then Nick Cage is like, I don't want the news crew. I just was like, hey, there's this meteor, is it like radioactive or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And then I don't actually think anything that important happens. For the
Not
rest
really,
of
no. They kind of just fuck off
day.
and they do their thing.
And then-
Nick Cage just
and then
complained about how
later-
he was portrayed on the news.
Yeah.
Well, no, because then the media, then it
Here
shows
comes
like
the
later on when the
circus.
media did come in, right?
Yeah, because he's all like, he
And-
sees him coming in.
And they portray him
Some dumb
as
fuck.
as like he's like UFO crashed in my yard, but he's like, oh, it was just a meteorite, and they're like, were you drinking when this happened? And I think it's either at this point or really soon while they're watching the news where the meteorite itself actually does disappear.
Yes, it
Like,
disappeared.
It's actually gone. Not just like the little dusty rock in the hole. It's actually just poof gone. And I
Yep.
think that's when they're like, "Were you drinking when this happened?" He's like, "I enjoy a bourbon every now and then, I guess."
Yeah.
I wasn't drunk tonight. I know that much. I had a few drinks the other night.
Yeah, and then he's just like losing his mind, like, "Why? I didn't say any of that shit." What
Yeah,
part
they're,
of
like,
me
making
did
him
you
look
not
like an
understand?
idiot.
Probably because the mayor told him to. Is
Yeah,
my
they
guess. Like
want
the mayor
him to
probably
get out of
called the mayor is the one who called in the media. So I'm guessing the mayor was like, he thinks it was a UFO. Because the mayor's a bit like all government officials, the mayor's a bitch.
Yes. True.
Mm-hmm.
Get him, Seth. Get him. Get him.
I hate the government.
Get him, Seth. Get him.
I will not share my political beliefs any farther.
I hate liberals.
I hate liberals. Yes, I do.
I hate you guys. That's what I hate.
That's my political statement.
My political statement is I think humanity should go fucking extinct.
I
Is
hate
that a
humans.
political stance?
Damn, Seth has that color out of space political fucking stance. Jesus Christ.
The color out of space stance. I'm gonna show up to your town and mutate and everything.
But yeah,
No, that's what the U.S. government does.
Oh shit! But
Damn.
but yes, what Seth's talking about is right. Yeah, so basically the meteor moves to get out of the sunlight there to hide somewhere, and where's it gonna go? The fucking water supply, of course.
It goes in the well.
Yep, it goes in the well.
The color from outer space goes into the drinking water.
Yes, it
Oh
does.
yeah.
I hope that's not important.
Oh, that's so spooky. And what happens is I'm pretty sure who's the first one to have like a weird thing happen to him? I think it's
I think the first weird thing that happens to any of them, or like the really important one, is the mom
yes.
is making dinner.
No,
She's
wait, that's
cutting
later. That's
That's
later.
later.
Hold on, there's one
Is
more
that
thing.
later?
Weird shit before that.
So what happens?
Okay, 'cause
is-
that's-
It's gotta be the little boy.
That's the first big weird one. that I
no, it's
remember.
Jack. Okay, so Jack
It
is
is
still
Jack.
weird. Is still be acting.
Because Jack
Oh,
is like standing
yeah.
out, like staring at shit.
He's like standing outside, like whistling. And he's like, "Can you hear it?"
Yes, and then this is so cool. So what happens is that he's whistling to the well, and then it's super quiet and everything, and then the sister's like, no, I don't hear it, and then the well starts whistling back to the kid,
Oh yeah.
and everyone's like, oh fuck, okay, well hold on a second, and then she tries grabbing the dad, and the dad's not having it. He's just in a pissy mood, And so he's just angry. He's like, fuck those people, fuck the mayor.
No, you're right. Sorry, I'm thinking of later.
Yeah. I forgot about Jack being a little
weirdo.
Well, yeah, because they go through a normal day, like for the most part. But the thing is that Jack goes to the well. He gets closer and closer throughout the day, and Sam the dog's with him as well throughout most of it. And at one point, the dog gets really scared of the well and kind of just goes away for a little while. But then Jack's still there looking at the well. And he looks down, and there's this weird fleshy mass just sitting there, like incubating and like pulsating. And then all of a sudden, something bursts out of it, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like this weird, like pink praying mantis thing with like 6 eyes, 8 legs.
It's a really big mutant praying mantis.
Yes, bright pink as well.
There's little pink flowers growing around the base of the well.
Everything's starting to grow and mutate around him, and then it flies away, it just fucks off. And
the bug, it just flies off.
Yeah, and then what happens next is they go back into the house and they have like a dinner, right? And basically that night the mom's cooking stuff, and she just starts like zoning out, like because of
she's cutting carrots.
Yes, she's cutting.
And she's
carrots.
Just like having like weird like
she's having an episode or something.
She's having a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she keeps chopping, and then she gets closer and closer to her fingers, and then Jack notices this, the kid, and goes up to her, and he's like, "You okay?" And then the second he touches her, she chops her fingers off.
Dude,
and
I have a thing with this. Touches her is such a nice way to put it. When he went up while she was cutting and started shaking at her fucking arm.
Oh, that's not what he did.
It is 100% that
shirt
kid's
a little
fault
bit.
that she cut her fingers.
He not
shook
the kid's fault.
the arm.
Niall, if someone like tapping on your shoulder while you're cutting,
it was not a tap. He grabbed the shirt and started tugging.
He's like a fucking.
He was like aggressively tugging. You could see the arm like jolt from it.
Well, he was trying to snap her out of her. She was in a trance. He was trying to snap her out of her.
I don't give a shit. It's still the kid's fault.
No. The kid literally what probably would have happened if the kid didn't do anything. She would have kept on cutting because he shook her out of her trance.
Yeah, but like when we say like she cut her fingers off, like literally first 2 knuckles of her her first 2 fingers on her left hand, she like chops them all the way off, and then she turns around and she's like, "I'm having a problem."
Then she turns around and she's like, I'm having an issue with dinner, honey. Can you come in and help me? And then she's like gushing blood out of her fingers. And Nicolas Cage is like, what the heck?
He's like, yeah, that's a pretty normal reaction. She's like, what the fuck?
What the heck? And then they go to the hospital, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nicolas Cage takes his wife and goes to the hospital and leaves the 3 children at home alone, and he's like, make sure you take out the alpacas, you take in the alpacas, you gotta feed them, and blah 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 blah.
Yep. And so basically what happens then is that like the weird shit turns up to like we're at like a 3 beforehand. We're turning up to like 6. We're at 6. We're doubling the spooky. Because then what happens next is that the hydrologist guy gets the water and he notices something's wrong with it, right? And so he goes in and he tells Ezra, he's like, yo, shit's fucked. And Ezra's in his cabin with audio equipment.
Wait, Devin.
Oh, wait, did I skip something?
Yeah, you're missing the part where, like, they're trying to call their dad.
Oh,
the kids at the house are trying to call their dad, and the dad's trying to call them. And there's a weird thing where, like, the alpacas keep getting out.
Yes, they keep escaping.
Because what happens is, like, the daughter, the Wiccan, goes outside, and she's like, you were supposed to put them away, like, an hour ago. And they're, like,
they're just
plants
there
in the front
vibing.
lawn. And he's like,
I did.
Yeah, but I did.
Yep.
And also, I think this is the point where the dog goes missing.
No, the dog doesn't go missing just
We'll
yet.
do that later.
He's still
The
around.
dog goes missing
real
in the middle
soon.
of the night.
It's like the
middle of
next night.
Yeah.
Like the next night the
we're
dog
also
goes
missing
missing.
something else as well, by the way.
Yeah,
or is that right now?
The phone.
Well,
phone guy?
not just the
Whenever
phone.
they answer the phone,
It sounds
it's just
like
like
the phone guy in the first FNAF game at the end.
creepy whispering. Just,
Yes.
and they can't.
Almost sounds like
and it doesn't work
muffled
either
yelling,
way.
Too.
Yes, muffled
Yeah.
yelling, all
Voices,
that.
but they're
And
muffled.
and the daughter, she goes to the sink, and she starts like, I think is she washing her hands or something? She's washing something.
At this point, it's the next morning because there's sort of just like a jump in the middle where he's like, the alpacas keep fucking getting out. Goddamn.
Yes. And so
she's washing the knife that her mom absolutely.
Oh yeah, the blood's still on it.
And she's like trying not to throw up, and then she's feeling really ill, and she's not feeling good at all.
And then the sink starts overflowing with blood, and like it gets all over the floor and shit. And she starts like basically she's like super grossed out by blood, so she's freaking out. She goes upstairs, she throws up a little bit, all that type of shit.
It's just a reenactment of the last time I drank Four Loko.
Exactly, yeah.
Don't do that to yourself.
PSA, don't.
I drank one Four Loko once, and I spent the whole night just fucking
This is a man that can handle a lot, too.
all night. Dude, I have drank shit that you could, like... I've drank things just raw that you could, like, put in a lawnmower, and it would make the engine run. But, like, one Four Loko, and I just puked my brains out. That shit is poison.
No, he was fucked up.
That's what the color out of space turned their water to. She turned it into Four Loko.
I remember you were just out of it, man.
It was right after we got off call, too. I was like, good night, guys. And I leaned down from my trash can and was just like...
but yeah, basically, this shit's all fucked, right? And then, like, as she's throwing up, the hydrologist goes to meet Ezra. And Ezra's in his cabin with audio equipment and camera set up in his living room. It's not really a living room. It's like a shack. But
because a little backstory thing about Ezra is like they're like, yeah, he used to be an electrician and he has cameras set up just around. But when he goes to talk to Ezra about the water, I can't remember if this is. It's not really important because he goes up to the daughter and is like, hey, I don't think you should drink the water.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I don't feel too good. It's not really important if he talks to Ezra first or not, because Ezra, when he goes to talk to Ezra, he's kneeling on the ground and he has like his audio equipment like recording the floor. And it's like, can you hear a man?
Yeah,
the people in the floor.
And then he's like, oh, that must be audio coming in from elsewhere. And he's like, no, that's right beneath us, inside this house.
Yeah, and the hydrologist is just like, oh, it must be some geothermal activity.
And he's like,
whatever.
Okay.
That's right here. Whatever it is, it's here.
Hydraulic activity.
And so the hydrologist is like, okay, you fucking weirdo, I'm leaving. And he leaves. And
but this is also the point where he's like, I haven't seen G-Spot around, and then Ezra goes, if you do see G-Spot, you probably won't recognize her. And it's like, well, that wasn't ominous at all.
No.
You fucked up hippie.
Yeah, he probably saw what happened to G-Spot on the camera, right?
Something like that.
Because he becomes very, like, culty at this point, where he's like,
I mean, I think this is actually unfortunately, this is kind of the last time we actually see Ezra.
Yeah, Ezra's done after this pretty much, but we'll get to that eventually. That's so far. That's literally the end of the movie when we see Ezra next. But
I mean, the thing is, like, things are really going to start ramping up, and I know it's not going to seem like it because more happens. I think we might go through it faster.
Yes, we are probably going to go through it quicker because the beginning is a bit of a slow burn, and Neil did not really like it that much.
It's not that I didn't hate it. I was just a little bored, is all.
I'll be real with you.
It's a slow burn.
I'm a fast motherfucker, okay?
See, the thing is that his TikTok attention span did not matter.
Context.
I'm a fast guy.
I'm a fast boy. I'm fast with my food. I'm fast in bed. That's not true. Hang on.
Yeah, but
my car's a race, or my bed's a race car bed. I'm fast as fuck.
I mean, I know one way that you're slow, but we'll not get into that.
Oh, nuh-uh, motherfucker. What?
Anyway,
what?
So the hydrologist goes to talk to the daughter who has a crush on him.
Yeah, they both have like a little thing going on.
And also, a little background detail is, the further we get into the movie, from the well, remember how there was the
little flowers,
the little pink flowers,
a couple here and there, you know,
spreading farther and farther out for the rest of the movie. There's more and more pink flowers, and there's like purple vines that are like wrapping up around trees, and I think you see more of the mutant bugs. I think you do see more
and the crops are getting fucked up, and like the grass is turning like pink as well. Not too much yet. It gets worse later, obviously, because you know.
Yeah. So, and I think the rest of this day in the movie kind of technically passes kind of quickly because. Well, yeah. The next thing that I remember is it's like the next night from when the wife cut her fingers off.
Yeah.
Right?
The other thing I should mention as well is that when spooky shit's starting to happen, Jack's also still chilling at the well. like staring at it intensely. And Benny has been lost pretty much all day. He can't get back. That's an important detail as well. And so he finally gets back by nightfall to put the alpacas in. He puts the alpacas in, but then they keep getting out. They don't know what's happening.
Them damn alpacas, bro.
Basically,
should have got
right
llamas.
as Nicolas Cage gets back home with his wife from the hospital the night after.
Yes.
Jack, the youngest kid, is just standing outside.
Yep, standing outside.
It would have been like
porch.
standing outside. All the alpacas are out, so Nicolas Cage gets out and he fucking loses.
He flips out,
his
dude.
shit.
Yes, and he freaks out. He's like, "What the fuck? You guys are so stupid." And the other thing is that this would be the opportune moment to be like, "Yo, guys, don't drink the water." But no, the daughter is too busy being salty about her dad to tell him this vital piece of information. So everybody in the house, within the next like few scenes, uses the water to some capacity. And so what happens is Nicolas Cage is like losing his shit. He brings the alpacas back into the barn. This is the point when the dog goes missing. By the way, Sam is gone. He's done.
Sam is gone, and then so he like freaks out at the son for not putting the alpacas in, and then he gets in this huge blow up at his daughter.
Yes.
I can't remember specifically what he said, but
he tells her to fuck off. Like, literally, that's part of it.
And actually, it's an important thing to remember that he's telling his kid to, like, shut the fuck up or
he's
whatever.
Like
because
really
earlier in the movie,
swearing at him, even though he hates when they
swear.
swear.
Yeah, but earlier in the movie,
because earlier in the movie, his daughter was like, "What the fuck is that?" When the meteor fell, and he's like, "Oh, language. We don't say that word." So in this scene, he's like,
so him literally telling his daughter to
stupid.
fuck off, like, "Are you fucking stupid? Just fuck off." It's like, "Oh, are you good, buddy?"
It's like, "Oh."
It's like, "Oh no."
Also, it's like one of Nicolas Cage's famous,
well.
like. You know, it's Nicolas Cage's infamous blow-up as well. He's acting a little kooky at this part, you know, doing his little kooky thing that he normally does. And
his little silly Nicolas Cage thing.
Yes, Nicolas Cage thing. It works so well. And then they go up to the bedroom with his wife, and Jack is there because Jack is, you know, acting weird still. But Jack's scared as well. He's a little spooked out. And so Nicolas Cage is like, "I just kind of fucking blew up in our daughter's face. My bad, guys." And then she's like, "Oh, okay." And then he starts flipping out on them because he's like, he's very angry for some reason. And eventually, to cool off, he gets in the shower.
That's right. God damn it, the shower, and that's what.
If you don't realize something about houses out in
this,
you got to realize that if you don't realize this about houses like this. Is that every ounce of water in that house comes from the well. So Nicolas Cage,
out in the sticks.
Yes, they're on the sticks. So Nicolas Cage takes a shower, and he notices that the water has like some slight like pink shit in it.
God! There's like the weird white film at the bottom.
Well, yeah. He looks down at the drain, and there's something blocking the water. So he reaches out and he picks it up.
It's like a goop.
It's like a little goop monster.
It's the thing that crawls out of the drain after 9 months. You jerk off.
Funny you say crawl.
Yeah, because he picks it up and it's like a little like blob.
I don't think it does anything. It's just like it does.
It's
just like a blob.
No.
Does
it
it?
does. It has like little tendrils and it wraps around his hand and he flicks it off.
Yeah, like I forgot it. Like it grabs his hand. Yeah.
He flicks it off frantically.
And also, at some point, the water like touches one of his arms, and it's supposed to look like a rash. But as an extremely pale redheaded guy, if I have the shower water 2 degrees too hot, that's the exact color that my skin turns. It was definitely, and it just goes back to normal.
It was definitely pretty smooth how they did it, where like you can start seeing extra redness that shouldn't be there. Like,
and so Nick Cage runs out of the shower, obviously, and then he comes out.
Or something.
I don't know if he did.
Yeah, he comes out fine.
No, he's still in like his blow up. He's like, "We need to call an exterminator and get some like mold." Blah 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 blah. Do you not smell that smell?
Yes, and he's still smelling that smell.
The whole movie, he's smelling something.
Yes, and he doesn't describe it exactly. Obviously, he describes the meteor, right? But this is different.
At some point, I can't remember if this is when he.
No, it's the next time.
But I think it's the next night.
Yeah, because he's in there, and then he's like. And then he starts itching his arms because he's the rash is on his forearms, and so he's just like he's itching them a lot, and so the rest of the night kind of plays out a little normal,
But dude, I think the funniest thing is we were watching the movie and I was like, "Don't itch your arm, dude! It's like an alien.
If you got an
alien organism intruding in his body. Like, what do you want?
It's like an alien radiation monster. Like, not itching, it's not going to change anything.
It's the same as you don't scratch a mosquito bite. I scratch
I
that
don't
shit all
get
the
bitten by
time.
mosquitoes. I was blessed with the I taste bad to mosquitoes
Lucky,
gene. That's the
dude,
best shit
I
ever,
always,
by
if
the
there's
way.
mosquitoes and I'm out when they're around, I'm just, I'm
the
dead.
mosquitoes see me. The mosquitoes see me and they go, "It's free real estate." I fucking. You know.
I have to be like completely alone before a mosquito will land on me, and then even then I'll get bit like
Lucky,
twice.
I get fucking
Lucky ass
assaulted, dude.
motherfucker.
I must just taste disgusting. That's the only conclusion I can come to is I just taste
disgusting.
vile.
I look disgusting, Seth tastes disgusting.
What the fuck was it?
Devin, was that a fart?
No, that was not the fart.
Okay, I thought that was.
The prophesied fart.
Don't worry, that's coming later, viewers. Just you wait.
Yeah, but we're getting to the point in the movie where like we hit a certain point in this movie, and I just had a fucking full grin on my face.
Dude,
the whole rest.
The
of
rest
it.
of this
I
movie just
loved-
picks up. It's so good.
from like this point forward. The movie ramps up because I think another thing.
Oh,
is
you missed
when
something
Nicolas
so important.
Cage-
Oh my god.
Yeah, when Nicolas Cage and his wife were
Yes.
driving home in the dark, you saw like a weird skinned fucked up cat that had like purple glowing eyes that they almost hit on the road.
What also has like multiple legs and is like pink and fleshy.
Oh yeah, it was like a
I
fleshy
guess we
radiation burn
found
mutant
G-spot.
cat. Yeah, it's like they found G-Spot because remember when Ezra was like, "You might not recognize G-Spot when you find her." Yeah, it's because G-Spot's fucking
G-spot's
G-spot's
roadkill.
mutated.
G-spot is a monster.
Oh,
like
dude,
the-
and this
G-Spot
is
looks
thing
like a
got him.
Fallout enemy.
yeah, and then and so the hydrologist is kind of gone at this point from the property, but it cuts to him in the town.
Because I think this is when that's a little bit
Is that
that's
not-
like the next that's a little bit later
Is that a
then
little bit
because
later?
yeah because the hydrologist is like running his like more advanced tests
Yes.
on the water for like the next little bit.
Yeah.
And in the next little bit is when the hydrologist is like away running his tests, like it just kicks it up to fucking 11.
Yes, because it doesn't in
on
the
the
same
fuck
night
shit.
they do something else, right?
It's the
the next night. It's
the next day.
yeah.
The next day after they get home, Nicolas Cage is out in the further mutated garden where there's more pink stuff.
Yes, yeah.
There's more big bugs.
Starting to look like
All of his
Annihilation now.
tomatoes.
All of his
Oh,
shit's
yeah.
like mutated.
All of his tomatoes are like
Oh,
huge
yeah, the
and like
tomatoes.
all
I
ruggedy,
remember this
and he
scene.
like has like plums from his peach tree, and then he comes inside and he takes a bite from his tomato, and it tastes like shit. And he takes a bite from his peaches, and he tastes like shit. And he has this huge another freak out like, I did
The
everything.
whole time his wife
right,
is there
and it
yelling at him
tastes
to
like
fix
shit.
the dish, even though I already fixed it.
Yeah, because
And he's just
her,
like,
yes,
telemarketer
slam
dunking it into
keeps
the
fucking
trash,
up.
like hopping
Yeah,
around,
she's
all
like-
pissed off.
She's like, I am hemorrhaging clients. I can't get a connection, and they're just like,
They're both
they're
arguing
like
about
this
different
happy
things.
family has like
Fallen
gone to this
apart,
point
yeah.
when they're just bugging out.
Yeah, and the thing is too is that when she's trying to make those calls, the signal that the Ezra was hearing in the his house was playing on the intercom, like that she was listening in on, and then it just like the signal just cuts out, it flatlines, and she's
yeah.
you gotta be fucking kidding me! All right, and then that's when she runs down and blows up on Nicolas Cage. And Nicolas Cage takes a bite into each of like the crops he harvested and spits them out. He's like,
Yeah.
this
And he's
tastes like
like,
shit.
I did
He starts throwing each one individually in the trash like a slam dunk, or like
Yep.
getting more and more pissed with each throw.
he fucking slam dunks
Can I just
everything
say,
in the trash can.
throughout this movie, whenever Nick Cage's character has a freak out, it is the most realistic, like, dumb fuck, I'm so goddamn mad freak out.
Dude, he's
like,
so
like when
good
he's in
at
the
it.
car, like later and won't start.
Yeah,
starts
a little
punching
bit-
at the roof and shit.
Yeah, a little bit later in the movie, their car won't start. He just like starts hitting these like motherfucker, god damn it, shit.
Like, and the way he'll like
And it's just,
jump
like-
around or like throw tantrums is so much like an actual like
He's
dude
so
dealing with
good.
a shit ton of stress.
It's
I
so
love it.
Well,
It's just like,
if,
he
if,
does
if
it,
anyone
and
was
it's
in this
just like, that's
situation,
exactly
they would be
how I
reacting like Nick.
react.
Oh, exactly. No, it's like
Yeah.
they're
Oh,
super
yeah.
realistic, but it's like
Yeah,
oh,
like-
shit.
Yeah, but yeah, so at like night at this point, this is when just like the fucked shit goes up to
Oh
11.
my god.
So
I was not
what
ready.
happens
I was not ready.
Is there's something happening outside? I can't.
Okay, so what
Something
happens
happened to the
is that
alpacas.
no. So what happens
I'll let
is,
you do it,
is
Devin,
that
yeah.
everyone's kind of on, there's a lot of tension going around, and the kids are.
I forgot the daughter.
Yes, the daughter is trying to run away. She's trying to get out of there.
Yeah, and she's trying to convince Benny.
She's really trying to convince Benny to go with her because she really cares about Benny. And then Jack's just kind of fucking weird. He's still doing his weird shit.
Jack's still pulling like a red rum moment.
Well, what happens is that so the alpacas are acting up because they realize that they hadn't seen the alpacas all day. So so the dad's like, all right, well, we got to go check on them, obviously. So the dad goes inside. Or no, the dad doesn't go in just yet, right? No, he sends Benny in. He sends Benny again. He sends Benny. Jack's there too. The daughter's there. Everyone's outside except for the mom, really. And the dad also went back inside. But Benny goes in, and he sees there's this. It's like a pink glow, right? Magenta just starts like glowing and coming out, and so they all start running. And Benny runs out. Jack drops his doll behind him.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that he's like dragging. He's like
dragging this little doll up with him, and the mom runs out to Jack, and then the glow is catching up to them, and then Jack drops his doll on the ground. He turns around to go grab it, and then the mom grabs Jack, and at the same time the energy hits them both and just melts them.
It's like a big energy,
That's right.
It's like a living energy purple field that comes out of the well.
Yes,
sad as it goes.
It comes out.
And I think Devin. I think isn't this the same time when the daughter is like doing the ritual?
Yes, the daughter's doing the ritual.
Sort of concurrently to this whole thing is like the daughter was like packing her bag to like wanting to run away, and then she picked up the Necronomicon, and then later on it shows her like carving symbols into herself and like dripping blood on the book, and she carves one right onto her like
forehead. It's like a
right
diamond
in the middle of her forehead.
How big is your forehead?
And then after the son. After Jack and his mom get blasted by the color out of space, she like comes out and she's like, "What the fuck happened?"
And the dad runs out too and is freaking out. And then he sees, and so this is really cool too because the camera hides what happened to them, and just shows the reactions of the family.
It makes you think they got evaporated for a sec.
Yeah, you think that they're dead, but then the fucking mom's arm starts reaching out, and she starts moaning and groaning. Not like not in a nice way. A very painful, horrific
and the sounds
moan.
Of pain, and then they don't show it just yet. They get him inside the house and stuff.
You have to give the actress some credit because she made me so uncomfortable for this part.
Oh god!
Like,
what was it? They got her. They got both of them on the couch. They're freaking out because they can't call a hospital.
The dad's freaking out. What happened to her? And he just can't speak. He's like, oh god. And so he's like, Benny, help me out. Let's take him inside. So they take the two of them inside and put them on the couch. And then this is when the daughter comes back in. Because the daughter had just finished carving all the stuff in.
Sees what's on the couch.
And so we see the daughter's POV, and they see on the couch, and what happened is that the color out of space literally melted their bodies together in like a horrific amalgamation.
It fused them, and they're just like in pain. And all they're doing is
the sun attached to her, like Jack all like shaking and shit. His face on the couch.
His face is like halfway inside her back. Fucked. And the worst part is too is that they're paler now. The color
as
of
it goes
space is
on,
kind of flowing through their body.
Starts getting worse and like falling out.
Yeah, it starts falling out.
And it just gets so sad because it drags for so long. And like,
because the family is really trying to figure out what to do. And then Nick Cage is just like, oh god, I don't know what to do. And so they
can't call anyone
because
the phones don't work.
Because the phones are still being a false.
Because Benny tries
and we learn within like the next like few scenes. This is when Nick Cage tries to start the car.
Yes.
And freaks out because the car won't start.
Punching at the roof.
Motherfucker! God damn it!
You fucking
comes inside. He's like, the car is not. No, Devin. He tries to go get the car out before
the morning happens.
Yeah, no. He does the car and then comes back inside before the sun.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, my bad.
Yeah, so he's like, the car is not happening.
Yeah, he's freaking out. And they're like, what do you mean the car's not happening? And he's like, we are stuck.
The car is not happening. And then at this point is when like some of the sunlight comes through the window and hits the mom and the son, and it like makes their skin like boil.
Yeah, it boils and
like
melts.
It's just burning them. Ooh.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah, so they move him to the attic, and it's so
dude,
like
wait,
they
hold on.
wrap him in a blanket, carry him like a potato sack.
The daughter's like, brushing the mom's hair to make her feel better and all that stuff, and it starts falling out in like this goopy slop, and it's so bad, dude. It's so bad. The daughter even notices it and rubs it off on the couch. It's so fucked. And then
this movie goes like a little bit of body horror and then just like kicks it to a level.
Yeah,
now there's.
I gotta say this movie did a great job.
Oh, dude,
making the psychological aspect of body horror.
I also the night before, after Jack and the mom got melted together, they go and look what happened to the llamas.
Oh yeah, and Nick Cage has to.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! The same thing that happened to Mom and Jack that fused them together happened to all the llamas, and they're just like this.
You remember the Thing with all the
if you've ever seen John Carpenter's The Thing, it's literally that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very John Carpenter's The Thing, and
I wouldn't be surprised.
And Nicolas Cage
for how they did it.
And Nicolas Cage goes out there with a shotgun and shoots every single llama head, and just and the blood gets splattered everywhere, and their blood is pink.
Yeah, it's bright pink, and it gets in his mouth a little bit too, as well, which I think accelerates the thing that happens to him as well. The other thing too that I should mention as well is that Nick Cage at this point, his forearms are really fucking.
You guys are.
Oh, it's like
if you've ever seen someone
like
whose lips
skin.
is real chapped, imagine that on his all fucking arms.
It's also bloody and like scratched up.
It's so dry and crusty too, and like dark.
He's literally got like radiation keloid burns on both of his forearms.
And the thing is
thing is, whenever Nicolas Cage, for like a lot of times in this movie, he pours himself a cup of brandy with some ice, and more it focuses on like the ice, and like it zooms in on the ice, and you can see there's like a little bit of rainbow.
Yeah, there's a little bit of the purple or pink energy in it.
Well, no, literally with the ice, it just shows that there's like a little like rainbow inside of it, because that's something they kind of do with some of like the colors, that it shows like a little bit of rainbow with it too.
Yeah, I mean progressively outside too.
Mostly,
we should mention as well is that the lawn is turning pink.
Oh yeah,
as well.
The lawn is turning pink.
The trees are turning pink.
The mutation is spreading farther and farther.
Yes, it's very close. It's literally at the fucking doorstep.
So
at this point,
yeah. So Nick Cage and the family bring the mom Jack fusion into the attic, and I think this is the point where we actually cut back to town with the water hydrologist.
Yes, the water is in the mayor's office.
I don't know what's in the water, but it's really messed up. But then he gets called outside with the sheriff.
Yep.
To look at like this some guy who's like, yeah, I hit this with my car or something, and he shows him what he has in the back of his truck. And it's G-Spot, the cat, and like a bunch of other just random animals that are just like radiation burned and glued together.
Yes.
And, he's just like, where'd you find this? And he's like, oh, it happened right off the edge of the Nicolas Cage property.
I watched that new Nick Cage movie,
and
he had
this
dead
point,
cats.
And at this point, they finally start going back. Is this the part? And I think then what happens is the daughter and the son are trying to get ready to just leave,
I think you also got to mention is that the alpaca thing happened at this point. So they're waiting in the attic. They're waiting in the attic, and they listen to him shoot every last llama.
Because he comes back to the attic covered in blood.
Covered in blood.
And then he's looking down at his wife and his son, and the amalgamation of them, and he tells the kids, he's like, get out. And they're like, oh, what are you gonna do?
He's holding the shotgun.
Yeah, he's holding the shotgun as well.
So you can sort of feel the implication of what he's gonna do.
And then the daughter's like, are you gonna do what you did to the llamas to them? And he's like, get out. He doesn't say anything else besides that. And they're like, and then he escorts him out quietly, as composed as he could. And the daughter is like, I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry, Jack. And the brother Benny starts crying and stuff. And he lures him out. And he locks the door behind them in the attic, and then he points the shotgun at his wife's head. And he takes a moment to aim, and he lets out a deep breath, and then he lowers the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and then he sits there like, "You will always be my golden
And then he
lady."
does-
And it was like, that was sad
And then
as
he does-
fuck.
It's so
And then he
sad.
gives
And
her
then
water.
He gives her water and he kisses her on her like
Kisses
gross
her, and
no.
as his mouth comes back out,
he
you can
gives her-
see the goop of her flesh that stayed on his
Yeah,
literally
he
mouth.
kisses her on
onto
the
her.
mouth, and it's just like the slime, and then he gives her water out of like a water bowl, and
Yeah.
she like
And
drinks
at
it
that
like
point,
a
I
dog.
think he
and it's
decides
like,
against shooting her.
Well, the thing is too is that he starts talking about a trip that they're gonna make to like Europe and stuff, and he really
Yeah, he's like, we're gonna go to Europe and blah blah.
he's
blah.
like, we're gonna hit this.
At
and
this
this and
point,
this.
At this point, Nicolas Cage is full on schizo posting in
Yeah, because he's
general,
watching
like-
the TV as well, and the TV has like pink static on it, showing like
Well,
an
yeah, 'cause
amalgamation like in the static.
Well, with the pink. Well, it's just static, and then there's like a bunch of diamonds, like a weird
Yeah.
geometric shape, sort of obscured in the static.
Yep. And
at some point in this movie, there's an ad about how the mayor wants to like expand like a factory or something. That's not super important, but it happens.
I think it's implied that the color got into that, isn't it? Right? Because they were talking about earlier that it's like spreading through the water supplies.
Well, it's in their water. So we'll talk about it at the end of
Yeah.
the movie, but I can, drawing on my knowledge from how the book ends that I read 10 years ago, I'll talk about it.
Okay. But basically, at this point, they leave the mom in the attic, and then Benny and the daughter are like, okay, we need to get the fuck out of here. And so they go to the barn.
Poor mom too.
Yeah, the poor mom's just like, they're both still alive.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
and
They're still alive. They're acting
pleading.
like they're dead and they can't hear him. It's like, she can hear everything, man.
They are really pleading to like live, and they're trying to live, but they are just like so fucked up.
It's just so depressing.
It's so sad, dude. And I was upset. I was like, oh my god. But then they go down to the barn again to grab the horse from the beginning of the movie to ride on out of there. But the horse is acting up weird. And so they look in the horse's eyes, and the color's in the horse's eyes, and it runs away. Just sprints off into the middle of the night.
And they're just like, well, fuck.
Yeah, and then it cuts to the hydrologist and the sheriff riding to their place, and the horse runs across the road, and he's like, hold on, that's her horse. We need to hurry, Sheriff.
It's Comet. The horse's name is Comet. I
that's right,
remember
it's
that.
Comet, which is very ironic.
What a name.
Yeah, but the thing is, the hydrologist, the sheriff, I think, don't they go to Ezra first?
No, so
In his little shack, or is that?
that's that. You'll see.
Yeah.
So what happens is that then it cuts back to them, and Sam is Benny hears Sam coming from the well.
He hears his dog.
He hears his dog howling from the well, and he looks down in the flashlight, and there's this like fleshy amalgamation at the bottom. I think.
Oh, it's just the well is a flesh pit.
Yeah, it's a
now.
flesh pit.
It's just a flesh pit.
And he hears his dog, and he's like, I gotta go down there. Sam's down there, and his sister's really trying
say
to convince him
Sam's?
not to. Sam.
I thought you said Sans first.
Da-da-da-da,
Sans.
Undertale is down there.
Sans
Give us your
Undertale is down there.
balls.
My brother is down there.
My brother is down into this pit.
My brother has become part of a horrible flesh
My
abomination.
brother's gone down into the fan base again.
But yeah, there's some fuck shit happening about this. And then Benny's has the bright idea to climb down the well to save his dog.
Aww.
It's a very sweet moment. He cares
Very
about his dog a lot.
stupidly brave. That's
Yeah,
a good
and
way
he's
to put it.
climbing down, and he's slipping. He literally could have fallen in at any moment, but he doesn't, and he's getting halfway down. And then the dog's whimpers get louder and louder until the well starts to glow the color. And it starts building up the same way it did in the barn earlier to meld.
Same way it did in the barn, and the same way it did out of the well to glue Jack and his mom
Yes.
together. It's doing that again, except I'm assuming it melded him to the amalgamation at the bottom of the flesh
I'm
pit.
pretty
But from our
sure-
perspective, there's just a big flash of light, and then he's just gone.
Well, it pulled him in.
He's Yeah, he gets pulled in and he's screaming, and then that's just we're just left to assume that he's just part
Well,
of the flesh
it's
pit
pretty
now.
it's pretty scary too, because the sister watches, and it literally watches him get pulled in, and his scream sounds like he's falling down the well until he's literally gone. Like he's just dead. That's it. Benny gets nothing. Benny's fucked. He's just that's it. And the daughter comes back into the house, and Nicolas Cage
Oh, yeah,
is
Devin, you're
schizo
totally right.
posting.
Yeah, well, because I think at this point, like, the hydrologist and the sheriff show up and they
No,
run in the house. And
hold on. You're forgetting something. I'm so sorry.
Am I?
Yes, you are. Because then Nicolas Cage is like, we need to feed your mother. And he grabs his daughter and
you're
is
saying
pulling
way
her
more
up
mellow than
towards
he
the
did.
attic.
He's all like shining, Dad. It's time to go feed your mom.
Yeah, he goes full on. He goes on. Here's Johnny.
Yeah, he goes full Johnny mode at this point in the movie.
Here's Nicky.
Here's Nicolas Cage. Gah, 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 gah. And then he grabs him and pulls her, and she's pleading. She's like, "Don't do it, Dad. Don't do it." And he's like, "I'm sorry, honey, but your mother needs to eat." And he opens the door, throws her in, and locks the door behind her.
Yeah,
and
up
walks
in the
away.
attic
I'm gonna just
room with
preface
the...
this. What happens next? I have never screamed louder from a horror movie than what fucking
No.
happens next. I screamed
Yeah.
so fucking loud.
This one scene is like a perfect description of how each of us react to horror because Niall like shat his pants.
I was like
all
giggling
right?
behind
He
the couch.
screamed. And like I said from like earlier, from a little bit earlier onwards, I was just grinning and laughing the whole time. I loved
Devin's
this shit.
just like, whoa.
Devin had a pretty normal.
I was
reaction.
like, "Oh God!"
I was screaming like Markiplier screams at Five Nights at Freddy's.
So what happens to the mom and the son is they twisted and turn into this fucking spider monster with their faces. And you can't even really describe what it's like, which nails the whole fucking Eldritch horror part of this
it's
so well.
You have to
They're
see it, man.
they're
It's fucked.
They're
really
a
would have to see
twisted
it.
flesh abomination.
I can't get
With
over
the
that
mom's
one
face at
shot
the
that made
front.
me scream.
Well, what happens is that literally
It starts attacking the daughter.
Yeah, the daughter
That's
is
the nice
looking
way
into
to
the
put
darkness.
It. It's literally
And
just like darkness.
it's in the
and
corner.
Then suddenly you see it's like it's in the corner, and then I
Yep.
think like lights go out for a sec. Let's come back. It's fucking like speeding across the floor at
runs
full
and gallops
speed.
towards
And it's
them with its fucking
I screamed
fucked
like a
up
little
legs.
girl at this, man. It freaked
They
me
did a
out.
close up of the mom's face too, and her face is all distorted. She's got long teeth now. It's very gross. And so the daughter kind of just gets flung on the floor, and then it cuts to the sheriff and the waterman showing up and coming into the house. And he knocks on the door, and Nicolas Cage comes up to the front door, still covered in blood, by the way.
Yeah, he's like, "You shouldn't drink the water," and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Okay. Would you like to come in and have a drink with me?
He's so
My
fucking drunk
wife's
and
on
messed
the-"
up.
And then they come inside, and they're like,
He's like, "Seth,
where's,
after Four
where's
Loko."
everyone else?" And he's like, and Nicolas Cage is like, "What are you talking about? My wife's right there." And it pans to the couch,
They're
and
right
nothing's
here.
there.
Yeah, he's just
And
like
he's talking to his wife, even though she's not there.
Yeah, this is the part where he just full out schizopostic in Maine because he's just pretending that his whole
And
family.
then the
is just
hydrologist
there.
asks what's wrong with his arms, and he's itching his arm still. And he's like, "Oh, it's just a horrible rash. I'm sorry."
Just
And,
a rash.
It's just a rash.
It's just a rash.
sorry.
It's okay. I'm sorry. And then he's itching his arm still, and he's like, he's like writhing, like his skin is like literally fucked. And then the daughter screams from the attic, and the hydrologist is like, "What was that?" And then he's like, "Oh, just don't worry about
Oh,
that."
you're missing the part where like he's all like, "Here's the rest of the family," and the empty
Here's the rest
living
of the
room,
family. Yep.
acting like the
Yeah,
kid
yeah.
earlier when because there was a scene earlier where the kid's looking at nothing, and the guy asks what's up. He's like,
Oh,
"I'm
no,
talking
no,
to
I
my
also-
friends."
I almost missed something else too. And then he's like, "Oh, where the hydrologist is like, where's Benny?" And then he's like, "Oh, Benny lives in the well now.
Yeah,
It's
he's with
okay.
the well.
He lives in the well.
He lives in the well. It's okay."
That's what your parents, when you're like too little to understand death and like your dog dies, your parents like, "Oh, he lives in the well
He
now.
lives in the
Don't
well. It's
worry."
okay. But everyone else
He
is
lives
here.
in the well with grandma.
And then
Good reference.
But the sheriff and the hydrologist run upstairs, and the door's locked, so he can't help but they just hear screaming from the daughter inside the room. And then the sheriff shoots the lock off with he has a shotgun
He
as well,
doesn't shoot
by
it.
the
He
way.
kicks it. I thought he was gonna shoot
Or no,
it.
or he hits it with a handle, I think.
No, because like
He uses the shotgun.
they can't open.
No,
it.
he literally just boots
Yeah,
it
no,
open.
he just manages
we
to kick
we
the
all
door
thought
open.
we all thought that he was
Yeah,
going to shoot
exactly.
it
We all
off because
thought
the
he
hydrologist
was,
hydrologist
but
couldn't
then
get it
he's
open.
like, oh, he's like, it
And
looks
then-
like he's aiming, and then just boom, just tackles the door.
Yeah,
down.
and then he just boots the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, and then he fucking what's it called? And then they run in, and then we see the mom Jack amalgamation on top of her, like
On top of the daughter, like about to, kill her. Whatever.
kill her.
Who cares?
Real.
Doesn't matter.
It's like it's pressing up against her, like it's trying to like fuse with her.
It's
It's
she's all
very
saying, "I'm
gross.
hungry." She's trying to eat her.
She's like, "I'm hungry."
Yeah, she's like, it looks like she's about to
Ugh.
fucking eat her. And then suddenly,
It's like a whisper scream as well, which is
yeah,
fucking
and then
terrifying.
suddenly, bang! head gets blown
Yeah,
the
you
fuck
just hear a
off.
gun go off,
and then
head
you see
explodes.
pink
Head
blood
explodes.
just splatter all over Darth's face.
Oh yeah, and this is like when he was killing the llamas, it was
Hold
like
on.
a little pink, but when the Jack mom his head explodes, it's really just
Yeah.
like the blood is
It's
really
exploding, and
pans
then
up.
and then and then
everywhere.
pans to it pans to the jack head, and it blasts that open too, and then the thing dies and falls on the floor, and the hydrologist grabs, and then it pans
Jack
over.
gets killed after they reveal who shot her.
Well, are you sure?
Yeah, because
I'm pretty sure he kills both,
she gets.
and then it reveals.
It doesn't-
Mom gets,
it
doesn't
I
really
remember-
change
particularly
much.
I guess
matter.
I remember because it's ingrained
Yeah.
in my brain. Mom gets shot. Before we see who shot, because it was like, who did that? All the blood on the daughter's face. It looks up
because
to
obviously-
Nick Cage with the shotgun.
Yeah, I
and
was
then he
gonna say,
comes up and shoots
Obviously,
Jack.
it's like a bait and switch
Yeah.
because it's like you think that
You thought the
obviously
sheriff-
you
Yeah,
think
you thought the sheriff was,
who
and then you
holding
see
a
it was
shotgun
Nick
and
Cage.
shot it, and then it was Nick Cage, and he's like, "My family's downstairs."
Yeah, but he walks away like nothing fucking happened. And then the hydrologist helps the daughter out, and they go outside, and then Nicolas Cage is flipping out. He goes back to the living room.
He's just like,
he's
"That's
watching
not
the
my
TV
family."
again. Yeah, and he's like, "That's not my family." And then he if I'm remembering this correctly, they go out front and they're pleading for him to like, go. And
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm not leaving my home," or
yeah,
something.
I'm not leaving my home, and he grabs his daughter, and then the sheriff holds up the gun to him, and I think he like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I forgot.
I forget what exactly happens. Do you guys remember?
He grabs his daughter,
Yeah.
and I can't remember if he's like, "I'm not letting you leave," or if he's gonna kill her. But the sheriff shoots Nick Cage in like the stomach with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Shoots him- no, straight
Dies.
through the heart. Straight
Well,
through the heart.
In his chest
It was
with a
like the
shotgun.
chest,
doesn't
but
really
like I don't know if
matter.
it was the heart because he's still like alive for like a couple more minutes.
Yeah, and then the daughter starts crying and freaking out. She's like, "Oh God, Dad, no, no, no!" And he's like, he's all like, "It's okay. I'll be okay. We're gonna head to Greece and have a great time."
Yeah. I gotta
And
go
then,
meet the other
he
Golden Girls.
fucking dies. He dies, and then the daughter's like crying with blood in his in her hands. And by the way, the blood is also bright pink,
Very,
just
very
like the
pink.
mom's, very very pink. And so, and then the hydrologist is like, "Okay, we need to go. I'm sorry about your dad." And she's like, "Nope, this is my home now."
I'm sorry, your
She's
dad
suddenly
died.
like real into living there.
Yeah, she's like, "This is my home." And then at this point is when they go and be like, "Well, we got to go check
They're
on
like,
Ezra."
well, he's like,
the hippie, I guess.
he's like, "Oh, we need to go check on Ezra. You're coming with us." And she's like, "Nope, I'm staying here."
Yeah,
and he's
no, so
like,
he has
"I'll
to
come
go
back for
alone.
you." And so
Yeah.
they go to Ezra's house, and this is terrifying.
And this is a really cool
Yeah.
thing because there's pink light coming from inside Ezra's
Yes.
like little hippie shack, and they walk in and they hear Ezra's voice being like, "It came
The
from
coolest
somewhere
speech I've
else,
ever
and it's
heard in a horror movie."
changing-
Yes.
It's changing everything to be like."
Well,
where
hold
it
on.
came
There's something
from."
important about this too. It's not playing from Ezra.
Well, yeah.
It's
Well,
playing.
I was gonna get to that,
Devin.
Devin.
Yeah, oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
I knew exactly where Seth was going with that.
Because they walk in really slowly and they hear like Ezra being like talking, I guess, is like doing there's like this whole speech about like the color came from somewhere else to change everything to be like where it was, and then they get closer and they sort of like come around the corner because they see like the back of his head sitting in his chair. Ezra, fucking dead.
He's a shriveled up
decaying
corpse.
corpse.
Yeah.
And the voice is coming from his recording equipment.
Yes, and
So
it's playing on
creepy.
its own.
It's playing a tape. It's playing on its own. It's Ezra's voice being like talking about sort of like, well, literally the color from outer space. It's a color that came from somewhere else, and its whole thing is that it's changing everything around it to be more like where it came from.
Yes.
And where it came from is inside out, mutated, and fucked.
Yes.
So wherever it goes, it turns everything else inside out, mutated, and
Yes.
fucked.
And the coolest thing too about the scene as well is that there's a shot of the cameras as well, and the tape starts speeding up a little bit, and it starts like getting more frantic and shit. And then the hydrologist is like, "Okay, we need to get the fuck out of here." And then the cameras, darkness starts coming across the cameras and slowly engulfs the camera, so it becomes pitch black. One by one, the cameras go out, and then the lights outside the house turn off. And so the hydrologist and the sheriff start running back to the house, right?
Well, because something else that happens is that like you see a little pink light start
Yes.
glowing in Ezra's corpse.
Yep.
And I think like literally Ezra's corpse like explodes
Yes.
as they're running away. And then like as they're running away back to the house, the sheriff gets evil deaded.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
just gets evil deaded. A tree reaches down, grabs him like a tree and picks him up and then like shoves a stick in his mouth and kills him. He's like, it's like an ant
Yeah.
at the end of its rope with the share.
It's also pretty gross too because the tree starts to like absorb him before it pans away, and then the hydrologist is on his own, so he's running back.
Yeah,
and then he runs back.
He wants to go get the daughter
he's
because
gotta
the
go get
daughter
the
had like a little crushy crush on him.
And he had a little crushy crush on her too. And he comes back, and she's standing in front of the well, and the well's starting to glow. And she starts like saying, like, I forget exactly what she says, but she starts saying some cryptic shit. And he's like, we gotta go. And then she's like, no, I'm not leaving. This is my home. And then the symbols that she carved into her body start glowing pink.
And it like zooms in on her eyes, and you see especially the one that she carved right in the middle of her forehead. The little diamonds start glowing pink. And then it shows us the colors world, which, like I said, is inside out and fucking
gross. And it shows us what Nicolas Cage has been seeing on the TV well.
Tentacles and bones and bleh.
Yeah, and it also shows us like the prisms that like it forms and shit that Nicolas Cage has been seeing in the static. And then the hydrologist is like, oh fuck. And so he backs up and everything, and then the grass is literally trying to pull him in, and then the well bursts. The color flies out, lights flying into the sky like a tornado. It's leaving into the atmosphere, and it's pulling shit with it. And it's literally warping reality around them. It's stretching light.
And the daughter, the Wiccan, she disintegrates.
She disintegrates,
and just disappears with the color.
Yep. And so he's like, oh fuck. Well, he runs into the house because he's barely able to move because it's literally pulling him slowly into the vortex. And he comes into the house, and guess who's not dead? Nicolas fucking Cage walked off that.
Well, the Ghost Rider is immune to bullets.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I saw this coming. I don't know about you
real
guys.
creepy because you see like he's like starting to like his mouth like voicing out lines from earlier in the movie of the family's conversation.
Yes, because they hear he walks in and the hydrologist hears the. Yes, he's eating. The hydrologist hears the family's voices from inside the house, and like obviously the light's still warping, and he's still getting like sucked in the vortex very slowly. And he looks over to the couch, and Nicolas Cage is on the TV, or sitting on the couch watching the TV. His like head like has like weird like mounds growing out of it. He's like weird and deformed now. It's
oh yeah, he's like melting or something.
And the colors coming out of his eyes and his mouth, and he's voicing his family and everything, and he's like.
Yeah, like a conversation, like one of the normal conversations from earlier in the movie. All of their voices are coming out of Nicolas Cage, and it's just like, well, that's
horrifying.
Okay,
that's horrifying.
And then later you see like glimpses of the rest of the family in the living room.
Yeah. Well,
shit.
when he tries to grab the hydrologist, behind him the family is all there on the couch looking over at the hydrologist.
Yeah, like it flickers a little bit. Just like all the light and like the whole movie just like flickers, and you see all of them just normal sitting on the couch, and then they disappear just as quickly as they show up.
And the hydrologist is like, oh fuck. And so he fights Nicolas Cage because Nicolas Cage is trying to keep him in the like area with the color, and they're fighting for their lives and everything. And then eventually the hydrologist gets the upper hand. I think he like knocks him on the head, right? Something like that.
He hits him, and then he jumps into the cellar.
Yeah, he jumps into the cellar below the kitchen and basically locks it shut. Nicolas Cage is pounding on the fucking cellar door as hard as he can, like a zombie pretty much at this point. And then the hydrologist hides in the corner of the cellar. He can't really hide anywhere. He's covering his ears, he's covering his eyes, he's rocking back and forth because everything is so overwhelming in the moment because everything is picking up. The color is brightening, the sounds are echoing even louder and louder and louder until suddenly everything gets sucked into it and explodes into the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Leaving behind...
Yeah, the color just fucks off.
The color fucks off into space and leaves behind a white, like... It looks like a splash of, like, ash in the middle of a forest. It's a really cool shot.
It's so fucked and ashy. It almost basically is black and white.
It's black and white, yeah.
It's such a cool stylistic thing because everything is so like bright and neon, and then when it leaves, it's practically a black and white movie.
It's like it's not even actually black and white. It's just that fucked.
Yeah, and then and the hydrologist crawls out from the rubble of the house, and he looks around, and he's covered in ash as well. So he's black and white as well, and he looks around, and then it slowly pans out to the sky view, and it zooms out.
Yeah, it like zooms up into the sky, and it looks like a fucking nuke went off.
Yeah.
In just like this little area.
It's so cool because it looks like a white splash of paint in the middle of a forest.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then the end of this movie is just it actually shows the hydrologist, but he has like a gray in his hair, so like the implication is that it's been years, and he's like, Megan's like, yeah, that color out of space. And like one of the last things you see in the movie is another one of like the pink mutant bugs. But if I remember correctly, how the book
I was gonna say, let's get into this
because like I said, it's literally been like 10 years. I read it when I was in like 7th grade.
Oh shit!
I think I read this story before the first FNAF game came out.
Whoa!
Right?
We are old.
Oh my god!
Like it has been so long. And if I remember correctly, it's like the color comes out of space and it like turns people into zombies, and then just like the end of this movie, it just fucking leaves.
Yeah, it does.
Like, why did it come here? Why did it leave when it did? I don't know. It just did. Fuck you.
I think what's implied here too is that the at the end of the movie, the color got into like the water supply, didn't it? And like it's still technically there.
I don't even know because like obviously the catalyst at the house is that it was in their well, but it's their own enclosed well, and then it just leaves at the end of the movie. Like, it shows one of the pink bugs, like, flying around, because at the end of the movie, the hydrologist, as an old man, is, like, standing on, like a dam.
Oh.
That I think is, like, I think that's what it was, like, the mayor was like, we're gonna build a hydroelectric dam, and then I think later in the movie, it shows that's what was built, but I don't know if there's any implication that the color is in the water.
I was gonna
think
say,
he's just like, I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it stayed here, and then I don't know why it left, which is very, very H.P. Lovecraft.
Yes.
Like, it just came here, fucked shit up, and left, and I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think what the implication is there is because he throws it into
It's
the
just
water.
like-
And isn't there like a little like pink when he like the cigarettes in the water? I would have to rewatch that
Oh,
scene.
yeah, because he's smoking and he throws a cigarette in the water, but I don't know if there's any pink. I think he just throws the cigarette in the water and then walks off, and then while he's walking off, we see one of the alien mutant bugs.
Didn't the smoke turn pink though? I remember that. We were like, oh shit, is the pink?
Oh, the smoke turning... No, the smoke turning pink was about, like, was about the shotgun.
Oh,
earlier in
yeah,
the
you're right.
movie.
Yeah, my bad.
Because we were like, wouldn't it be wacky if when he shot the shotgun, like the smoke from the gunshot
Oh, yeah,
turned
that's
pink?
right.
And then eventually it did, and we were like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's go, baby!
That's what we're waiting for. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. Woo!
I really, really like this movie. I'm so glad that our first Wheel of Doom
Was a banger, dude.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God. If we got a fucking Awaken the Shadow Man 2, I would have killed myself.
Dude, I guarantee that many of the movies on the Wheel of Doom are going to be awful, but fun to talk about.
Oh,
But, like, this movie...
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, like, just talking more about this, the movie Annihilation is very similar to this movie, and I think, like, one of the ways I heard Annihilation described was, it's like, Annihilation is essentially sort of the same idea as Color Out of Space, where just, like, a thing shows up, and then it just changes Earth.
Yes.
It just changes everything around it.
Everything, including organic
It's not-
matter.
Like the thing in Annihilation is that it just does it.
Yeah, there's
it
no
doesn't
reason.
have any intention. It just does it. I in the book that Annihilation is based off of, it might be different. I'll have to read that.
I did.
I'll let you guys know.
The movie,
But-
at least.
But in so the main difference between Annihilation and The Color Out of Space of the movies is that The Color Out of Space is like, it's malicious about it. Like, it is sentiently and purposefully butt fucking and mutating things because it wants to.
Yeah. It's an actual
And
entity.
like, that's so cool.
I loved Annihilation.
Yeah, that's wicked.
It's so wicked.
This movie
This
was
is a good
too.
movie.
This was a really
I
good
can
movie.
see how
Like,
the original story inspired Annihilation.
yeah, honestly, this is so fucking twisted and cool.
God, I can't get over the scene where like the mom runs up.
I
to
know.
The daughter.
Listen, I'll be real with
I'm
you.
so glad.
If you want to watch like an actually like this movie is actually pretty scary, and it's not like for like the jump scare reason. This is a good scary horror movie.
I don't think
Like,
there was
I
a single
am-
jump scare.
It's really good body horror.
Yeah, like
it's really good
like
body
literally
horror.
all
Done
three of
right.
us do not feel scared normally in horror movies. Like
Well,
Seth,
That's a lie. That's a
fucking
dirty lie.
You're talking
Mael
to me.
doesn't. Okay.
I got scared of
pussy.
like shit like that of Ban.
Yeah, fucking hell. But
I'm the pussy of the group.
I know what you're saying, Devin.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying, Devin.
Like,
all three of us were having a reaction to this movie.
Yeah, but I was grinning
that's
like
what
a
I mean.
sociopath.
Like Seth, when he watches a horror movie and he's like actually like feeling uncomfortable, he smiles because he's enjoying the horror movie.
I don't feel uncomfortable though. I just like it.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough.
I'm not like, I feel like uncomfortable. Wow, I'm just like.
Normally, Seth and I both made the most like, no, you're fucking wrong face.
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to like gauge other people's reactions. But Devin, when I'm like, I just don't get scared or feel uncomfortable. Like, I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Like, the first time I ever watched Phil Tippett's Mad God, I was like eating pizza the whole time, and I had no problems. Even though there's like shit and vomit all over that movie, I would just eat pizza. And I was like, wow, this is lit. So like, I really like horror movies and like the tropes and aesthetics of it, but I don't get scared or uncomfortable. Like, even during Cannibal Holocaust, I wasn't particularly uncomfortable. I was more like, all right, you're fucking cringe, kid.
No, yeah.
Fuck that.
I mean, sorry, I worded that really
Devin,
poorly.
I was gonna say, and then I think Devin, you're like sort of in the middle of the
Yes.
scale where you're like, I'm not like a little bitch, but I could get spooked by some things. And Nael is like...
Nael is at the bottom of that scale. Nael will get scared by a fucking needle dropping, you know? Like,
if we ever play horror games, Nael is going to be the one playing the horror game.
I remember I played Fears to Fathom, and I was the player. And
which, by the way...
I would have hesitated to do something as simple as go watch TV in the game, because I was like, but what if something's behind me? And it would take me like 10 minutes to do like the easiest prompt.
The recommended...
Like, oh no, what's going on? Oh my goodness!
Scary.
And then if I was playing it, it would just be
speed run.
If I played it, I'd be done in 10 minutes because I would just like.
I was gonna say because the
third Fears to Fathom is the most broken piece of shit I ever played.
Okay, whatever. The thing is about
got
that is that
outside the map and found the dev cube.
Your computer literally shut the bed.
Okay, Devin, you cannot say me getting pushed on my bike in the game, getting pushed through the invisible wall to find the dev cube is my computer's fault.
There was. As bad as Niall's computer is, there was some spaghetti.
I like those games, but there's some spaghetti.
But also, I should mention as well is that usually those games come with a recommended play time. Nail on the 30-minute one took an hour and a half.
Shut up.
Because of how scared he was.
Shut up.
So like, I feel like that's why we're such a good we're pretty good really gauge for horror movies.
Because
like you can never ask me like, oh, is this movie scary? It's like, well, not to me, you fucking female. I don't know.
the only movie you said that like is actually scary, like you told us it was scary at least, is Skin in the Rink.
I still need to watch that in the dark.
I mean, yeah, but even
yeah,
I think I mentioned this in another episode, but like what I said, how I redo it is like I can tell when like something is like scary, as in like, oh, if someone watches this, they'll be scared, but I still wasn't scared by it.
That's the closest you've gotten, is you can
like,
see why it's scary.
I guess I'm like a horror sociopath. I don't get scared, but I understand what I don't get scared, but I understand what is scary. Because I think the one time, like the reason that when I watched the first VHS, actually, that's the one time I can remember a jump scare, like, actually, like, getting me for a second. I was like, oh, shit.
I think the first VHS is pretty good at that. Like, the very first one.
I mean, we'll talk about that when we get there, but I was just mentioning, that's, like, the one movie since I was... Because the other thing is, I remember when I was really young, I was, like, 8, and on Netflix, there was a show called Lost Tapes.
Oh, yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. In season 2 of Lost Tapes, there's an episode called Vampire, and that episode is the reason that I couldn't sleep with my closet door open for years, but after that, I just don't remember getting, like, scared of any, like...
Yeah, you just shut down. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Are we ready for
oh my god.
I leveled up.
Well, yeah, I was also going to bring up something else, too, about this movie, is that this movie also has a lot of amazing practical effects. Like, the reason why we compared that llama scene or alpaca scene to John Carpenter's The Thing is because it literally was like The Thing. It was a practical puppet that he exploded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a big multiple-headed alpaca blob.
Yeah,
Alpaca blob.
and like
Good
even the mom Jack fusion, that was mostly practical.
Some of it was practical, at least. I don't know.
I think the close-up shot was
I'd
CGI.
have to look into what was
CGI.
It wasn't practical, which I guess is something.
I'd
about
actually
the
have
CG
to like look.
that's not
I was gonna
realistic.
say,
behind
yeah,
the
it was seamless for the most part.
Yeah.
The only one that was like obviously CGI was
Grasshopper.
obviously the fucking color, like
That grasshopper was so obvious.
oh, and the mantis.
Oh yeah, the praying mantis,
that's what it was,
the
but, like,
pink
that was-
praying mantis
Yeah, that-
butterfly.
but
yeah.
I
at the
mean,
same
come on, that
time,
would've been
it was-
impossible
I'm
to
not
do.
gonna give it too much shit because the rest
Yeah.
looked great.
yeah.
I can
And
forgive
that's the thing, too, is
occasional,
that-
like, mess up.
This is a relatively small budget movie too. I feel like,
Is
right?
it? Let's
This
look it
wasn't
up.
like a.
I'll check
Google,
it
I'd say-
out.
what's the
I think it
budget?
is.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's put your money where your mouth is.
Color out of space.
I think it's at like 5 mil.
Budget. Let me see. Running time. 6 to 12 million.
Yeah, so I was pretty close.
That's a
That's a big range. Can we get something more
Very-
specific, Google?
big range.
6 to 12. So it's
I-
either this amount or double the amount. The fuck does that mean?
Yeah. I mean, either way, like it's
somewhere.
no fucking MCU movie budget. You know what I mean?
It's no Disney film at like
It's no
500
Disney fucking
million.
200
I
mil
mean-
for like a toilet dumpster. You know, like. So that's the point. I
We
think
can't-
literally
we can't
most
speak
of the
like that, Devin.
budget.
The mouse will come for us.
Oh yeah! Oh god! Better watch where your
It
money's
has a
going.
It has a tenth the budget and 10 times the quality of like most Disney
Yeah,
movies.
exactly. And that's what that's what I'm saying is that a lot of the budget probably went to Nicolas Cage.
You're not
And
wrong.
that's
That's,
also-
I don't know,
why
Nicolas-
6 to 12
No,
million.
actually,
Six
no,
of the-
actually,
I don't
Nicolas
know if
Cage
it
is
does-
kind of like he would let his
I don't
funds
know
go
if-
for that.
I don't know if Nicolas Cage is like an expensive actor to get, but he's in a lot of like he's like Willy's Wonderland is definitely not an expensive
No.
movie, and he's just in
I
that.
want to
'cause he
make that my
wants to
head
be.
canon though. That's why it's 6 to 12 million. 6 million was to Nick Cage, and then the other 6 million was the rest of the movie.
Well, I mean, the daughter is a pretty notable actor too. I think she's in like a bunch of TV.
Is she?
I don't
She's
know.
on a lot
Look,
of shows.
As we're doing horror things, I'll like recognize a few actors here and there, but like for the most part,
Devin's
I had no
insanely
clue who
good at
Betty's actor
recognizing
was or the
actors-
mom's
actors-
actor.
Actors.
I think Jack's actor is probably like a new horror kid star. Might have been in It.
I might have
don't know.
seen him in some other movie at some point.
Yeah, like I
but-
recognize some of their faces. Nicolas Cage,
You know,
obviously.
call me racist, but every kid that's below the age of like 12 looks
Call
exactly
me
the
racist,
fucking
but
same.
kids
Call
don't
me
have difference.
Call me racist, but until you get to like the 11 to 12 range, you look exactly like every
Oh,
other
yeah.
child.
I want to make that a T-shirt. Call me racist, but all kids look the same.
Now, I ain't a racist, but all kids
But all
look the
damn
same,
kids.
right?
Like, what are you,
Like,
black kids? Nah, all fucking kids.
They
no,
are
dude, that's
the
my favorite
same.
shit. Is like being like, look, I'm not a racist, but like, and then you just say something that's like
Yeah,
not even
nothing
related
at
to
all, like
racism.
what you
And it's
just
like, I
fucking
thought you
did.
said you weren't a racist, and it's like, yeah, I said I wasn't racist.
Yeah,
I was
no,
just
you
completely
speak
different.
facts.
part of the
I
sentence.
just was clarifying.
Yeah.
I'm not a racist, but personally, I prefer to play with a corded mouse over a wireless
No,
mouse.
fair. No, I agree. I like cord. But all right. So the other thing too is that I'm going to talk about a little bit here is the actors were very good as well. Like obviously Nick Cage killed it,
Yeah.
but all of them were really good.
Wait until especially when we start getting to the movies where like you're like, this actor isn't an actor, it's like a hooker that they pulled out of a meth.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a meth lab. Like what the hell is going on? Like these actors, they killed it. They were
They
really
were good. They were better than a lot
All
of
right.
performances I've seen like in recent movies. But
Rate it, Devin.
I'll get into it. So because of all that stuff, I'm actually going to give this a 5 out of 5.
God
And I know it's a little
damn!
surprising because, you know, like I gave Texas Chainsaw 4 out of 5.
Devin,
but
can I be an
this
asshole?
movie, what?
Are you sure you don't want to give it a 5.5, Devin?
I'm actually
I
gonna
was
give
gonna
it
make that joke.
5.25.
I was gonna make that joke.
I'm sorry, continue.
Fuckers.
I'm gonna give it a 4.95.
I'm sorry.
5.25.
No, this movie was really, really good. I have not watched a horror movie in a while and actually felt uncomfortable or scared.
Mm-hmm.
And this is definitely one of them. Like, this is so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
And I would recommend it.
Yeah,
I would highly recommend it to everyone.
Hell yeah.
I'm also gonna give it a 5 out of
yeah.
5 because like like I said, I think in one of the other episodes, I sort of was like a 3 is like a good movie that I would recommend, but it's not great. A 4 is a strong movie, and a 5 is like, nah, this shit slaps.
This did slap, dude.
I loved this movie. I was grinning ear to ear like the whole time, and the fact that I got to hear Niall piss himself is the best.
Holy shit! I'm gonna be the asshole that says 4.
I know.
Just
I was
because
expecting that
the first half wasn't for me as much. The second half was fucking incredible.
Bitch boy.
So, I taken 1 point off just because the first half didn't interest me as much. But but this movie made me scream like a little girl.
No, it did. But that's a lack of media literacy, Niall.
Shut the fuck up.
Hello, media literacy department.
Hello, TikTok attention span. Okay. These are all jokes.
Oh,
They're jokes, I swear.
No, I'm kidding. I can understand.
That's saying a slur. It's a joke. It's a joke.
These are all jokes.
These are all jokes.
That's the new intro to our blooper section. These are all jokes.
But yeah, this was a phenomenal movie. And honestly, if you have Shudder, again, get Shudder if you like horror movies. Watch this movie.
Dude, just get Shudder.
Yeah, watch this movie.
I love Shudder.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's a good movie. All right.
But all right, guys. Just like the color out of space, we're heading out of here.
Devin,
We'll
you're way
transition
too
on
good
to our
at
little
these
ending
transitions.
segment. Our little
ending segment.
So,
Devin,
the
you're
next
way too
episode is
fucking
actually just going to straight be the FNAF.
We're doing the FNAF
by the
movie,
way.
baby.
That one's going to get. I feel like
We're gonna debate
obviously
a
I
bit.
don't know
That
how
one's gonna
good or
get
bad the
heated,
movie is,
dude.
but that one's going to
We're
get.
gonna get. I have
See-
for Christmas now, mainly because of me.
if the
we are gonna
VHS
get heated.
Yeah.
If the VHS 85 episode was called "We Hate Each Other," the FNAF episode is
We
going to have to be
fucking kill
called
each other.
"We Really
No,
Hate."
it's part 2. I'm trying to think of a title.
I'm trying to think of it.
FNAF
No, I
ruined
think-
our friendship.
Niall is purple guy to our opinions.
Niall is the purple guy.
Was that the bite of 87?
Yeah, so
Was that the
normally,
VHS 85?
yeah, normally this is where we would like spin the wheel of doom and get our next movie, but since we got a big event
Yes,
next
we do.
time,
We have a very big event.
we'll just do the FNAF movie.
Which, by the
Alright,
way,
well,
we'll get back to you guys. Obviously, you'll see it by then, but it's going to be fucking awesome. Actually, I think the FNAF
Don't
movie comes
forget-
out when this drops, maybe, right?
that'll be close enough.
Like, I know they bumped it up a day earlier, but it'll be close around that time. So, drop it down in the comments what you think of the FNAF movie. And then, by the following week, you'll find out.
Don't forget. I mean, I know we only have this on Spotify right now, but don't be afraid to put anything at all in the Q&A section and participate in the dumbass polls that we put on every
Don't worry
episode.
about it. Just hop in. Enjoy
I
it.
want you to like follow the podcast, download our episodes or whatever, and I want you to type. I don't even care what you say. You could just like call us slurs in the Q&A section. I don't care.
Could,
I just,
for
I
this
wanna...
one, everyone comment ZAPBURPLE, because that's the color out of space.
ZAPBURPLE.
Okay.
My favorite
That
color
proves he's listening to
ZAPBURPLE.
all of it.
ZAPBURPLE.
No one's commenting ZAPBURPLE.
But alright, everybody.
Alright,
Just
so...
like the color out of space, we're heading out of here. Bye-bye, everybody.
Remember, everybody,
You're too
colors
good at
from other
those,
places
Devin.
are bad.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Now time for some goofy clips.
Just for you, Devin. I'll use that in this episode.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We gotta clap
yeah.
on them.
Alright, well, we're gonna clap these cheeks.
Alright,
Let's
clap
get
your
in,
mom.
baby. Fuck you.
Niall and I are in sync, alright?
Okay, bet. I'm in sync as well.
Oh, he's taking his cock out! Okay.
Whoa! Yeah, baby, that's what white folks are talking about. Woo!
You just have a new Mexico flag shirt on. What a virgin!
I like the logo. Give me a break.
Man, he got the logo on his chest.
It's a good logo. It's simple.
Oh, that's funny.
Me like it.
That's funny.
Also, we can see some Nail titties right now. Hell yeah, dude.
Nitties.
Nitties. I don't like that. I don't like that.
My nitties. Oh, I didn't send you, Devin.
If this somehow gets included, there's a guy with peanut butter on his face. That's all you need to know.
That's just me and Devin whenever Niall is an hour late to call.
One no fart channel.
Cool. Oh my god.
Queef.
How's my audio levels? Quiet.
Oh, Devin, that's like a Mortal Kombat face.
You're a Mortal Kombat fatality.
I went intro your mom last night.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Niall's Mom.
I thought you were doing the actual one, so I was like, oh, I gotta be quiet.
Yeah, I was like...
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to
Markiplier do it?
Cast. And today we're fucking
There we go.
Niall's mom.
We do it every day.
We do it every day. We do it today. We do it tomorrow. We do it every day.
Peter, how's your mom doing?
Have you heard about my new movie, Iron Lung, coming out pretty soon?
I can't wait to talk about
it includes
Iron Lung.
Niall's mom as an extra.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about Iron Lung and Niall's mom at the same time. It's usually how it goes.
It's ironing my
One
lungs.
hand writing the one hand I'm writing the script for Iron Lung, the other I'm fucking Niall's mom.
Just the
We
awkward
just let you
silence.
go.
All right.
Got it out of your system.
Are you done?
Are you done?
You feel better there, Chief?